11 instead of 9 or 10. So we're trying it out at 11 today. If you haven't already set your lineups because of that beautiful London ass whooping that the Chicago Bears are putting on Jacksonville right now, they're up 21-3 in the third quarter. We're here to answer all your questions. Any start sit questions you got. It'll be live for, I don't know, man, 30 minutes, 35, 40, 45, 50. If the betting gets going, maybe we'll stay a little bit longer. So we got the Chicago Bear. We got this Jacksonville Jaguar game going on right now. And Matty Q was at my house, and I'm a little late, honestly, because I was, making some breakfast, talking to him. He did a show. We're watching some football. And my first thing, I sit down and I go, Travis Etienne, 3 carries, -1 yard. Deflating. I don't know what to do. This guy is, I don't know, man. I just keep on going back to the well with Travis Etienne, and I keep on getting kicked in the nuts. Evan Ingram, though, returns to play 5 for 64 so far. We're like 4 minutes into the third quarter as we speak. Cole Kmet with a nuclear 4 for 43 and 2 touchdowns. He's a top 5 option this week. We talked about it all week on a couple of the shows on SiriusXM Channel 87. Yesterday, we talked about Cole Kmet. He's just doing the damn thing. So Chicago's looking fantastic, and this guy named Caleb Williams looks like he's getting better and better and better as the weeks go by. 17 for 21, 3 touchdowns and a pick. The pick was kind of a bad overthrow for sure, or I should say underthrow downfield to DJ Moore. Had an opportunity there, but I think Caleb Williams looks fantastic to this point. So we appreciate you guys all tapping in here. I'm going to go ahead and start setting my own lineups while I wait for some questions to roll in. And if we don't get any, we don't get any. But I think my first situation to deal with today is at the wide receiver position. And it's in this Yahoo league that Alex put together. And it's the one last week where I talked about playing Mooney and London on Thursday Night Football. And this team has Malik Neighbors and it has Rashee Rice. It's 3-2. It's a very good team. Caleb's got me 25 points right now during this current game. And so this week I have no Brian Robinson. I have no Malik Neighbors. So Drake London's already starting. I'm going to go ahead and play Mooney with him. I got Jordan Whittington on bye, Juju on bye, 2 guys that saved me last week. And I'm going to I think I have to go ahead and I think I have to play Romeo Doubs this week. And it's painful because I don't know what to do in this Green Bay offense. I think the one guy that we can trust in this Green Bay offense is Jaden Reed. And you have Wicks, who's not looked like the Wicks we know. The last 2 games, dropping footballs. Christian Watson will be back, hopefully, projecting. He's not hurt as bad as we once thought he was. Dobbs, we don't even know. I don't know how you can play him with the thought of if the team even wants him, if the team traded him and then rescinded a trade, if they're fighting. I don't know what the deal is. I don't think there's anything contractual going on, but I don't know what to do with this Green Bay wide receiver room. So this week I definitely very high on Jaden Reed, top 5 player this week. Josh Jacobs, again, great lineup. And then Tucker Kraft, the tight end. I mean, what better? Lombardi says this, Michael Lombardi says this, you have to believe players when they show you who they really are. And that's on field and off field. And Tucker Kraft has shown you who he really is. Tight end 1 the last 2 weeks. He's a killer. And now they play Arizona this week, and he's gonna eat up. So I think I fade all the rest of these receivers and go that direction. Appreciate you guys tapping into the chat already. Make sure you click that like button, click subscribe if you are tuned in, tapped in here on Roster Watch. Derek with a Conklin or Freiermuth question here at the tight end position. It's interesting. I don't mind Conklin, but I'm definitely much higher on Freiermuth. I have been really on a week-to-week basis. He's averaging 9.5 fantasy points per game, 4.5 targets, and 4 receptions. I'm going to continue to say this. I know Pickens is there, but I'm going to continue to say that I believe that Freiermuth ends the season with the most targets on this Steelers team. So I'm actually going to look that up right now and see how far off he is at the current stage. So my answer to this, Derek, is 100% Freiermuth in half. So to this point, Freiermuth has 20 receptions. My computer's already feeling like it wants to be slow as hell today, which is fantastic. 20 receptions on 23 targets and Our boy George Pickens has, my gosh, great radio here for me to look this up live on air. Our boy George Pickens has 36. And then number 2 is Pat Frame with 23, Najee at 17. So Corey Jr., he says, need 2 full PPR, Rico, Romeo, and Michael Wilson. See, like, this is the situation I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. Internally, I think you should be able to believe in Romeo Dobbs, but I don't think we should trust him in this week. It's a good matchup against Arizona. It's a fine matchup, but it's going to go one of 2 ways. It's going to go the way of them wanting to get Romeo back going, and they're going to just force feed him targets, or he's going to be active and he's not going to play. It's going to be one of those complete. And look at that on the golly, Travis Etienne, hamstring injury. His return is questionable. Man, we are just getting killed with this thing. This Travis Etienne shit's driving me nuts. But I think for my question here, Corey, it's the Romeo thing is a clear cut. He's the best option of these 3. It's just I don't know. I don't know if we can trust him. And it's like things in our situations as fantasy gamers, as fantasy analysts, it's the unexplainable. It's the unexplainable saying, well, it's out of our hands. We really have no way of possibly knowing, unless you have an inside source in Green Bay, knowing what they're going to do. It's an abnormal situation. So I think for those reasons, I would just lean Michael Wilson on the other side, and I would just play with Rico. I think Rico's clearly the best running back in Dallas. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. You're betting on potentially a touchdown or 2 in that one. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens. I internally can't do the Dobbs thing. I opened up talking about that. Ron Cloth, appreciate the question. Top 2 PPR. Christian Watson, Kamani Vidal, Jaleel McLaughlin. I'm going Christian Watson, Kamani Vidal. Clear cut here, Ron. Also got some news in here. It looks like Kendre Miller will indeed not be active for the New Orleans Saints today. In Houston, both Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce will be active, or are active, I should say. So that's big. But no Kendre Miller today. No Kendre Miller. We were expecting to get that Kendre Miller kind of season debut game off the old med table. We'll see what happens. No Taysom Hill, no Kendre. It's going to be the Jamal Williams. So I had Kendre after the show yesterday up to 59. As a consensus, we had him at 54. And now today we kind of got to wipe him out and put our guy Jamal Williams at. I mean, Kamara's banged up. He didn't practice a couple of days. He was limited one day. His target share is 21%. He's getting just annihilated with opportunities. Saints could be in trouble today. And they're trying to surround Spencer Rattler with as much as possible and make it easier on him, and not having, extra depth at the running back position is going to hurt. Hunter Dahlberg says, yo, what's up, man? So look at this back to back to back. We got a Dobbs question, a Watson question, and now a Wicks question. Which do I start? Wicks, Downs, or Chase Brown? This is 100% Downs for me. In this offense, Richardson's supposedly back. We'll see what happens with that. Pittman is in, though. Pittman's in, but he's also been banged up. So I'm going Josh Downs here. I think there's a argument could be made for Chase Brown. But in this one, I'm going to go ahead and lean with the puny Josh Downs. Scraperian Fantasy Football, Dameon Pierce or Deonta Foreman. Dameon Pierce just said was active today for the Houston Texans, but also is Joe Mixon. I think you're looking at a likely 5-point underburger for both of these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with Dameon Pierce in the better matchup. And if you want me to explain the better matchup here, I can do that using the Roster Watch matchup tool. You can get this over at rosterwatch.com. Become a pro or premium member at the bottom of the screen. Again, go to rosterwatch.com, become a pro or premium member, and you can see this tool just like I do. So I can sort it by running backs, and I can say, all right, here, where's Houston? Houston has the 11th best matchup against the New England Patriots today. And then I want to say Deonta Foreman. So where's Cleveland at? Cleveland has the, what is this? The 11th toughest matchup for opposing running backs. I tried the Deonta thing a couple weeks ago. and they didn't give him the ball. And it just they're not giving him enough opportunities. Whereas I think Pierce has opportunities built in, especially if this game gets out of hand or Mixon gets hurt in the middle of the game. Bucky Irving, Derek asks, Bucky Irving or J.K. Dobbins at the running back position. This one I think is closer. I shouldn't say this. It's closer than people think. It's an interesting one because Kamani Vidal, they said he's spring loaded. And J.K. Dobbins, they just can't. They're coming off of a bye, and this is usually the best. The bye week. The bye week is the rookie ramp up period, and that's usually when you get a rookie with more opportunities. And they want to keep Dobbins healthy for the long run of the season. They just got done with their bye. They can't come out of the bye and just grind J.K. Dobbins in the ground. So I'll be interested to see the dynamic of the backfield in Los Angeles, especially with no Gus Edwards. But Bucky Irving, if Rachaad White is inactive, which I have not seen yet if he is, I guess I could search that right now and see if we have any positive update. But last I checked, he was doubtful today. Let's see here. What's the latest? Nothing. I don't got nothing for the latest. He's just doubtful. He's still doubtful. So what I'm going with that in that train of thought is that Bucky's going to be the alpha of the two backfield guys, which will be Sean Tucker and himself. Bucky's going to get a lot of the carries, but I think you still get some work out of the backfield. They love Sean Tucker as a Tank Bigsby light type of a situation. I'm going to go ahead and ride with Dobbins. It's close. I have them like 5 spots apart of each other this week. They both have similar middling matchups. Dobbins against Denver and Bucky at New Orleans. This New Orleans game could get out of hand, though. Tampa Bay could get up early, and then you could obviously see more Sean Tucker as the game leans on, as they want to get him more touches. Great question, Derek. JB, I have Kamara, Bijan, Hunt, Chubb, Bucky, and Jay Brooks in PPR. Should I try and trade Kamara for one of these guys? Gibbs, HN, Taylor Hall, possibly even pair up with Jay Brooks to make it happen. Kamara, Bijan, Hunt, Chubb, Bucky, and Jay Brooks in PPR. Should I try to trade Kamara for one of these guys? Oh, I mean, yeah, 100%. 100%. Who is probably the question? Taylor's, of course, injured. HN, I don't really ever want to trade for HN with his injury stuff. For me, it's between Gibbs and Hall. And just on the surface, if you can possibly get Hall, I'm doing that. But I think Gibbs would be a fine consolation. So I'm either going Hall or Gibbs. That would be my lean in there. Goonerboy, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you tapping in as always. Jeremy Ledlow, which two of my must-start running backs do I sit in PPR? Montgomery, Hall, Gibson, or Pollard? Yo, now that's a question. See, this is an elite tier 1 level question here from Jeremy because Jeremy is an OG. And right when you look at this, you go, well, I guess his recency would tell you Breece Hall because Breece Hall had the worst game, but Breece Hall has the number 3 matchup for running backs this week against the Buffalo Bills. All right, well, what about Montgomery? Well, Montgomery has a number 2 matchup against running backs this week. All right, well, what about Tony Pollard? Well, Tony Pollard's playing the Colts, who have been gashed week after week this year outside of the game against Jacksonville. Well, what about Antonio Gibson? That makes the most sense, right? Well, not quite, because Antonio Gibson is playing with a rookie quarterback in Drake May. And in Antonio Gibson's career, he's had 29 games with the Washington Commanders with 4 more targets. He's only had 1 of those with the Patriots to this point, and no Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, this is a game that could wind up being an all-timer for Gibson. The matchup is tough against Houston. It's a bottom 5 matchup. So the matchup tool would tell you to probably fade Gibson. I'll tell you what the rankings say right now. So we need to, which 2 must-start running backs do I sit in PPR? Let me go here. All right, so I'll tell you what the consensus has for Alex, myself, and Trashman. David Montgomery, we have as running back 14. Tony Pollard, we have as running back 12. Breece Hall, we have as running back, where'd he go? 5. And Gibson as running back 19. So technically, Gibson and Montgomery are the 2 we're telling you to sit. You're playing Pollard and Hall. Those are our consensus selections at the running back position this week. Jeremy, appreciate you. Need a tight end and a flex. Laporta, Kraft, and Trey Tucker. Play both the tight ends today, brother. Both of the tight ends, Laporta and Kraft. Gooner Boy, Amari or Olave, half PPR. Amari or Olave. So personally, I have Olave as my wide receiver 8. Alex and Trashman feel a little different about that. I think we have some news coming in right now about Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson. Sounds like Richardson practiced all week, will serve as the emergency number 3 quarterback. He could play if needed, but they want to give him another week. So Flacco gets the ball. Again, Joe Flacco will be starting today for the Indianapolis Colts when they travel to Tennessee and take on the fighting Bill Levises. That should be a good game. That should be a good one. We took Indianapolis in the Circa 5 this week. I feel good about that. Speaking of which, Jacksonville just scored on a Gabe Davis touchdown. 3 for 34 and a touchdown now for Gabe. Evan Ingram's up to 7 for 86. Jaguars are trying to get this thing back. Bigsby's had a couple carries since we last updated, and Etienne still has negative rushing yards. Sorry, Gooner Boy, back to Olave and Amari. I have Olave, like I said, wide receiver 8. I think Spencer Rattler's going to key on him. Again, they don't have Kendre and this backfield of guys to rotate him with Kamara. And I don't get the 21% target share for Kamara. I don't know if this is a sustainable thing for as long. I mean, like I said, he had 2 days this week. He DNP'd, and then he had a limited. I think we're going to see Olave get targets, Rashid Shaheed get targeted, Mason Tipton get targeted. So I have Olave up here at number 8. Again, Treshman and Alex are down at 23, 27. Amari Cooper, though, we're consensus behind Olave. They both have him 30 and 26. I have him 28. So we are very much ahead on Olave over Cooper. Great question. Appreciate you tapping in. Bob Watson, Jameson or Darius Slayton, half PPR. Thanks, brother. Well, thank you, brother, for tapping in on this beautiful Sunday morning. We have Jameson Williams at a consensus, literally 24, 24, 26. So he's right there for Jameson Williams today against Dallas. And Darius Slayton, with no Malik Neighbors, crushed last week. But he's still considerably lower than Jameson is. It's going to be tough to go back to the well. You could see it, but again, they have Wandale. They have these other options. I don't believe in the talent that is Darius Slayton, that he's going to be able to just do it again and be that alpha in that offense and be targeted so much. I think they're going to take him away. Cam Taylor-Britt has been solid to this point this year. Gooner Boy, Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, Trey Sermon need 2.5 PPR as my phone just dings and dings and dings. Chase Brown, Javonte, Rico, Trey Sermon need 2.5 PPR. I'm going Javonte and Chase Brown today, Gooner Boy. I'm not playing Trey Sermon. You can't tell me to do that. You can't get me to do it. Not today. Derek, Jameson or Ladd? I'm going Jameson Williams today. Matt Cassidy, good morning, brother. How we doing? Gooner Boy, he says, Gibson, Chase Brown, Dowdle, Tracy need to start 2. Okay, so here's the thing. It's Sunday morning. The Giants play, unfortunately, on Sunday night. So the Tracy thing is kind of hinging on Devin Singletary. If we get something on Singletary, that would be great. But we haven't gotten an official Devin Singletary out, Devin Singletary in thing. Or wait. I guess I missed this. I will admit I went to dinner last night and did not keep up on injuries that came out last night. Devin Singletary looks like is downgraded to out against the Bengals. I missed that. Shout out to Shefty. That came out, 5 o'clock last night. Perfect. While I was at dinner. Learning that live right now. That's unfortunate that I didn't know that. So Tracy, 100%. I'm going to bump him up as we speak. So Tracy's number 1 here and Gibson's number 2. Those are my 2 guys to start. Gooner Boy, appreciate you. Mooney and Tank Dell, PPR, 100% Tank Dizzy this week. As we have the actives and inactives coming in as we speak over here on the Fantasy Life app. Trying to see if anything big came in. I used to do the starter sit show literally at this hour the last couple of years because I enjoyed having Twitter open on the one side of my screen and just being able to go inactive, active, inactive, active, and kind of keep everybody up to date on it. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of forgot how maniacal the sphere of Twitter was when inactives and actives came out. So trying to diagnose that while also trying to read comments and move along. It's a little bit of a situation, I guess you'd say. All right, so we officially have Christian Watson active in this one for the Packers. So again, like we talked about Christian Watson before, it's looking positive. All right. I'll see. I'll mention anything if we see anything else come through. GB Revival. I hate Travis Etienne. Yes, that's a completely fair take, and I think I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Baker or Anthony Richardson, Chicago D. Well, thankfully, we just got the news of Anthony Richardson being the third QB today for the Indianapolis Colts. He will be active, but it'll be the third QB. So maybe we'll get a rushing touchdown, but it ain't going to be anything close to what Baker's going to get you. Matt Cassidy, thoughts on Pittman in PBR league rest of season? It's been rough for him. I have St. Brown, Olave, DJ Moore, and just grab Juju. Looking to shop or drop. I'm out a kicker this week. I have St. Brown, Olave, DJ Moore, and grab Juju. Looking to shop or drop. I'm out a kicker this week. I don't think Pittman's a bad sell. It's an interesting situation here in Indianapolis. I wish he's officially active. Michael Pittman is. I mean, we've kind of been waiting on that. We kind of expected it, but he's officially active. I've been waiting for that big target game, that 13, 14, 15 target game from Michael Pittman, from Richardson or Flacco. I thought it would come through with Flacco. Of course, Josh Downs come back and he's healthy. Alec Pierce has his role defined here, and Adonai Mitchell's role is only going to continue to grow. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think that those roles are going to continue to grow, and Pittman scares me. I think he's really good, but Pittman scares me in this offense because of the lack of efficiency in passing. So Matt Cassidy, I would try to move Pittman if you can. Took the under on T-Law and Caleb rushing yards, underdog. Let's go, baby. Well, unfortunately, Chicago D, I think you already took the L on that one because Caleb has 56 rushing yards already, and he had 2 massive runs. So I'm assuming, I don't know what the number was, but I'm assuming you might have missed that one, unfortunately. Sorry, brother. Matt Cassidy, don't want to drop Roschon. Please don't. I love Roschon, but I don't know. Depends what your roster looks like. He's got 2 carries for 4 yards right now, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 25. He looks fine. He's looking good on third down and stuff. According to my boy Matty Q, he's keeping me updated over here during the game, saying Roschon looks good. So I'm always going to hold out hope on our boy Roschon. Derek, Love or AR? Love, obviously now with AR being out. Matt Cassidy, I think Daniels over Williams today. Kid is having a game. I think Washington can actually hang with the Ravens. Baltimore started slow, but they look tough getting into form. Yeah, the defense hasn't gotten there yet. So I think we got to continue to just ride with it with Jaden Daniels. He's a complete wagon by himself. So I love everything that we've seen from Jaden Daniels. And I think I'm just going to continue to roll with that. I don't think you're wrong doing that over Caleb. I know Caleb's had a strong start today, 3 touchdowns, but he did have a pick. He's got a ton of rushing yards. He looks good, but Jaden to this point has looked better. All right, rapid fire here. Juan Pena, who for wide receiver 1 and flex? I already put DJ Moore, so I guess just wide receiver 2. Wandale, Calvin Ridley, Tank Dell, Slayton, Tolbert, Trey Tucker, Ray McLeod, Josh Jacobs, and Jerome Ford. All right, so wide receiver 2 today is going to be Tank Dell, Juan, and your running back got to be Josh Jacobs. This backfield in Green Bay has been pretty straightforward what it is. It's a number 6 matchup on the matchup tool this week. I have Josh Jacobs as my running back 5, and everything Jerome Ford has given us this year has been underwhelming and doesn't compete with anything Josh Jacobs has given us. Dalton or Rattler, Dynasty Alex has for the quarterback position. Andy Dalton or Spencer Rattler. I came down a little bit on Rattler, down to quarterback 19. It sounds maniacal. I know it's a little high, but I have Rattler at 19, Dalton down at 25. So I'm going Rattler today, Dynasty Alex. Are you riding with me? Start Rattler. Matt Cassidy, do you think Keon Coleman can actually turn to a reliable wide receiver 2? There's literally nothing in Barfalo. Barfalo. I like that. That's a clever one right there. I do believe he can. He's not your Dominator X. He's a guy that they need to move it around, put him in the slot. He doesn't separate, but he's very good with the ball in his hands, period. I mean, he's a good receiver, so there's no reason he can't become reliable wide receiver 2. I'm just not sure if it's in the next 4 weeks or if it's in like 6 or 8 weeks that it's more reliable than not. Specialist 90 is Cody. Is it okay to leave Ayuk out of my lineups until he shows some consistency? Of course, this is a multi-pronged question and answer, but it depends on what you have. It depends on what you have. They played already, obviously. It depends on what you have, though. Week to week basis, all the weapons are back in San Fran except for McCaffrey. And when McCaffrey gets back in a couple weeks, it's gonna be a little bit tougher. This is what it is. It's a week to week thing. You never know when Debo's gonna go off. You never know when Kittle's gonna go off. You definitely never know when Ayuk's gonna do anything. And McCaffrey's just McCaffrey when McCaffrey gets back. So you just have to pick and choose when you play him. I don't know if you want to leave him out entirely, but you just have to pick and choose and know when to do it. Corey Jr., Roster Watch is my number one source for all betting and fantasy data, but you guys got it wrong on the Ravens Commanders this week. Ravens smash covering the 7, pound the rock, and control time of possession. Here's the thing, Corey Jr., is we do have some people in our ear telling us, you're wrong. This is the layup of the century. Ravens are covering. This game should be a 10-point spread. This is the way I explain this. This game, Washington-Baltimore, is the definition of a backdoor cover. That's why I think this game covers the 6.5. Backdoorcover.com is the definition of this football game. Tom Bloom, start 2, drop 1. Jerome Ford, Chase Brown, Trey Sermon, Wicks. Chase Brown and Ford. And it sounds putrid. Chase Brown and Ford today. Thank you, Tom Bloom. Courtney Logan, appreciate you tapping in once again. Team name, the Kalesi. 2-3 with the most points. That is a tough place to be. Under 500 with the most points. Obviously, you probably have some of the most points against. My question, standard, need a flex. Jerome Ford or JMO? I'm going with JMO. Like I said, I mentioned it a minute ago with Jerome Ford at the running back position. What we've gotten out of Jerome Ford is he's top 3 in targets per game, 4.6. But as far as overall output goes, his PFF expected fantasy points this week is 10.1. He's averaging 13.5 touches per game. Again, 4.5 of those targets are coming in the receiving game and less than 12 fantasy points per game. He's got a tough matchup against Philly today. They could get absolutely puppy dog walked against the Philadelphia Eagles today. Speaking of a number that should cover easy. Tom Bloom, full PPR. Yeah, we're going back here. Still the same thing. Bueno Bueno in PPR Flex, Chase Brown or JMO. Appreciate the nation. We are a nation. Appreciate you, brother, for tapping in. Let's go, JMO. Mikey, yes, sir. Flacco starting over Richardson. Courtney Logan again here. Team name Kalesi, 2-3. Okay, so we just did that one. JMO. JMO's the answer here. Big Bills guy, Olave or Chase Brown, PPR. Again, 100% going Olave here. I'm not, no disrespect to everybody. I don't get all the questions with Chase Brown and Jerome Ford. I'm not playing either of these cats today. I'm not. I get it. Save your breath. I'm not playing Chase Brown or Jerome Ford. They have not given me jack diddly squit this whole damn year. I'm not touching that shit. Sorry for the swear jar, Alex. If you're watching, I apologize. Ace Ventrola, half PPR flex, Dobbins, Tolbert, or Tank Dizzy. All right, so this comes down to Tank and Dobbins for us. Dell is currently our consensus wide receiver 22. And at running back, we have Dobbins, who, like I think I said before, is our consensus running back 17. In flex, we got Dobbins ahead of Tank Dell. I love me some Tank today, but we got to go Dobbins by a touch in half. Glad you're on later today. I live in Vegas. 6 a.m. is too damn early. Bueno. Appreciate you. Click that like button, drop a comment, and maybe I'll move the show to 11 permanently because, hey, I don't sleep in very much. But I tell you what, maybe after a fire that lasts until 3 a.m., sleeping in a little bit might entice me every week. We'll see. Mike Yee, wish we were out so we could play Mitchell. No idea what you're talking about. You must be talking about Mike Yee. Mike Yee. Mike Yee must be talking about this question. Sorry. Flacco starting over Richardson. Wish he were out so we could play Mitchell. I'm assuming there's correlation to this. Did we just get another touchdown? Chicago Bears, 28-10. Keenan Allen, second touchdown of the day. Keenan Allen, 4 for 33, 2 touchdowns. Cole Kmet, 4 for 43, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore getting completely. Man, it's unfortunate. That underthrow kind of nuked this thing. Unfortunate. All right, here. Let's run this thing through here. With Christian Watson news, do I give up on Wicks and pick up a Vidal to stash? I don't know if you give up on Wicks. I don't know if you give up on Wicks, but I definitely like the Vidal stash, I think, a little bit more than Wicks. Tom Bloom, full point, PPR, start 2, Marvin Harrison, Zay, J-Mo, Wandale, Bucky. This is going to be Zay and Bucky for me. Zay and Bucky for me over MHJ. Yes, sounds maniacal. Zay and Bucky. Tom Bloom, appreciate you. Actually, one more team name, just one more before we die. I love it. How about just one before we die? Not just one more. How about just one? I'll take one. Williams or Ladd? I'm going Williams here. Ladd is a few spots lower than J-Mo this week. I know that one off the top of my head. Mixon or Montgomery in PPR. I think Mixon is RB11, Montgomery's RB14. Both have top 10 matchups. Montgomery has the number 2 matchup against Dallas, but we have Mixon 3 spots higher. Great question, Hudson. Derek, with Pittman active, do I start him over J-Mo? I'm starting J-Mo. Boston Billups, Evans, Sermon, Deontay Johnson, Tolbert, Slayton. Choose 4, a.k.a. bench 1. Bench Sermon, Boston Billups. Bench Sermon, bench him. Gooner Boy, Amari Cooper, Chase Brown, or Javonte Williams in half PPR. Give me Javonte Williams. I love the trajectory that Javonte's on right now. I think the Cleveland Browns get completely locked out in this Philadelphia Eagles game, and I don't love Chase Brown either for Cincinnati. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with Javonte Williams by quite a few spots over Chase Brown at the running back position, especially. Dylan Fink, need help. Full PPR, 2 flex. Pierce, Wicks, Bateman. I sort of lean Wicks Bateman simply because I trust the QBs more, and they should be higher scoring games. Flacco is starting. I would go Pierce Bateman here. Pierce Bateman, Mr. Fink. Pierce Bateman. Again, Flacco starting. I like the attachment to Alec Pierce. He's not worried about pushing that ball downfield to him. And then Bateman, he's coming along. This Washington back end is horrible, and they've talked about Bateman on end, and he's starting to get more and more opportunities in this offense. So I'm going to ride with Bateman over Wicks, who has had the case of the dropsies. And Dobbs is back and Watson's back. It's odd. Matt Cassidy, Roster Watch Nation. We are a nation. Appreciate you, Matt Cassidy. Smash that like button and click subscribe. Calvin Ridley or Michael Pittman. I think this one's a lot closer. I got to check. Pittman, wide receiver 39, and Ridley, wide receiver 30. Wow. They're a bone on bone tie. Wide receiver 39. We're split even across the 2 guys. That's hard to do when we have a model, Alex, myself, and Trash Man across the board, and it's a complete stone cold tie. I got to go Calvin Ridley here on the Tennessee side of things. Matt Cassidy, thank you all for all you do. Really appreciate the heck out of it. Thank you, Matt Cassidy. Appreciate you, brother. Really appreciate that. Stephen Grease. Hello, looking for thoughts on my flex spots this week. Need 2 full PPR. George Pickens, Chase Brown, Najee Harris. I'm going to go ahead and play George Pickens this week. And you need your second one. Gosh. I don't want to play. Where'd the question go? I don't want to play either of those running backs. But as far as where I have them ranked, I have Chase Brown at running back 19. And I have Najee running back 32. So we're going to go Chase Brown over Najee. You finally did it. You finally got me to pick Chase Brown or Jerome Ford. We'll go Chase Brown here. Bob Watson, Rattler, or May in 2 QB. A-Rich is out. Matt Akeem would tell you to take Drake May, but your boy's telling you to take Spencer Rattler. We actually have a friendly bet, Rattler v. Drake May today. So I'm going Rattler. I have him about 6 spots higher than Drake in my weekly rankings. Stephen Grace also have Downs, Tank Bigsby, Trey Tucker, Ladd McConkey, Rico Dowdle, if that changes anything. Well, Bigsby already played. He hasn't done anything, thankfully. Josh Downs, no. No, you know what? I might play Downs over those backs. I might play Pickens and Downs. Let me check something here. Pickens, so we got Downs. Pickens, Tolbert. Yeah, dude, I'm playing. All right, we're going Josh Downs, Stephen Grease, Josh Downs, and George Pickens today. Best of luck. Ido, OBJ, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. I think you going Danny Dimes. I like the matchup against Cincinnati. Give me Danny Dimes. Sounds horrible. I get it. Pick one. Give me Danny Dimes. Best of luck today. I appreciate you tapping in and tuning in. Both games will be good as far as fantasy points for the quarterback go, but I'm going to lean Dimes. I literally had these guys back to back. Consensus for roster watch. Let me look here. Consensus for roster watch has Goff at wide receiver 16, Daniel Jones, wide receiver 11. There's your consensus. Peter Orozco, Jalen Tolbert, Chase Brown, Josh Downs, standard league. Chase Brown in standard. No, if there's nothing, no half, no PPR, nothing, we're going Chase Brown here. Matt Cassidy, 4 tutties for Caleb. Man, he's looking fantastic today. I need to go watch the rest of this game. Last couple questions here. Pick one, full PPR, Coleman, Shakir, or Dobbs. I think it's the if he plays thing. If Shakir plays, you play Shakir. If not, you play Coleman. But I feel good about Coleman. Love or Mayfield at the quarterback position. Again, you're talking about good options here. Love has the number 5 matchup. In the matchup tool, I have him as quarterback 4 this week. Chicago D is relentless. Wow. Again, I need to come out and watch this thing. All right, Johnson or Olave? Gosh, you couldn't put a more basic name in here and not give me a first name. Johnson. Deontay Johnson or Chris Olave? Deontay Johnson, I have as my wide receiver 27 today. Chris Olave, wide receiver 8. Give me Olave. Start 2 full PPR. Appreciate the question, Tone Bear. Seiko says start 2 full PPR. Start 2 full PPR. Slayton, Tucker, Wicks, Watson, and Slayton for me. Seiko. Mike E, half PPR. Jimmy McNichols or Adonai. Give me McNichols, baby. Here for the memes. I need 1 wide receiver and 2 flexes out of the bench. Full PPR, Pop, Douglas, Zach Moss, Gibson, Trey Sermon, Rashad Bateman, Trey Tucker, Isaiah Likely, Christian Watson. 47 names later, we got 1 wide receiver and 2 flexes. We're 100% playing Gibson in the flex. We're going to play Christian Watson in the wide receiver spot, and then we're going to play Likely in the flex. So we're going to go Gibson and Likely in the flex and Watson at the wide receiver position. Appreciate the question here for the memes. Or Lazard. Yeah, you're playing Lazard over. No, you're not. No, you're not. Why did I say that? You're still gonna play Slayton. Yeah, you're gonna play Slayton and Watson still. Seiko, great question. Savvy edits start to Gibson, Chase Brown, Downs. Gibson and Downs in PPR, please. Give Gibson and Downs in PPR. Matt Cassidy, make it 5 tutties. Did they just score again? Not sure Daniels can match up this game. Holy shit. Swift scores a touchdown. Swift, 15 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Swift is looking good, dude. 4 receptions, man. Swift is coming on to his own. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go watch this game. 2 more questions to get through. 1, who should I start at flex? Choose 2, Tank, Mooney, Gibson, Downs, half PPR. I feel like I've answered all these guys already, but start at flex, choose 2. Tank and Gibson are my 2 guys in this matchup here. 1. Best of luck. Appreciate you tapping in today. Maybe not, but they are on the goal line if not. D1 Cardi, James Conner or Zay Flowers today. We're going James Conner at the flex. Appreciate you 100%. Seiko, thank you. Appreciate you for tapping in today. Best of luck on this beautiful Sunday. Yeah, I got that. James Conner. 100%, brother. James Conner, 100% here in this one. Best of luck today against the Packers. And then Sleek, happy Sunday. Full PPR, Ridley, Downs, or Sermon. Joe Flacco's in. Michael Pittman's in. I'm going to pull down a little bit on Josh Downs, and I'm going to always ride with my guy, Will Levis. And that means you're playing Calvin Ridley.